Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to hear me today, not just with your ears, but with your heart. Because some of you have been asking, why can't she love me? You've given your all, you've sacrificed, you've shown up in ways no one else has. And yet, the love you give is not the love you receive. Let me tell you something, you can't receive what someone doesn't have. Love is not just a word, it's an overflow. If her heart has been drained by past pain, by betrayal, by disappointments, she cannot pour into you what she doesn't have to give. You're looking for a love that doesn't exist in her right now. Love is not just about feeling something, it's about healing something. If she's still carrying the weight of past wounds, no matter how much love you offer, she will struggle to embrace it. And you'll find yourself exhausted, trying to heal a wound you never created. You cannot receive what she doesn't have to give. You cannot pull water from an empty well, and you cannot expect love from a heart that has been emptied by pain, disappointment, and brokenness. Too many men find themselves frustrated, confused, and heartbroken, not because they did anything wrong, but because they kept expecting something from a woman that was never there in the first place. Love is an overflow. It is something that pours out of a heart that is full, whole, and ready to give. But when a woman has been drained emotionally, when her spirit has been exhausted by past hurts, betrayals, and disappointments, there is nothing left for her to give. You keep trying to draw from a place that has nothing left to offer. And instead of recognizing the emptiness, you keep pushing, keep putting, keep demanding, thinking that if you just love her hard enough, she will eventually give you what you need. But love doesn't work that way. A woman can only give what she has. If her heart has been shaped by neglect, by rejection, by abandonment, then love feels like a foreign language to her. She may crave it, she may desire it, but if she has never truly received it in a healthy way, she doesn't know how to give it back. And so you find yourself pouring and pouring into a heart that can't receive. You give your time, your energy, your loyalty, your commitment, and yet nothing changes. She remains distant, unavailable, closed off. You start to wonder if you're the problem. You question whether you are enough. You ask yourself, what else can I do? But the truth is, this is not about you. This is about her. About what she has been through, about the wounds she carries, the wall she has built, and the fear she holds inside. She cannot give you what she does not possess. Some women have spent so much time in survival mode that love feels like a luxury they cannot afford. They have been let down so many times that they do not trust love when it shows up at their doorstep. They are used to fighting for themselves, standing on their own and building their own protection. When you come along offering something real, something pure, something unconditional, they don't know how to receive it. It feels foreign, it feels suspicious, because when you've lived in a storm for so long, peace feels like a threat. So you try harder, you convince yourself that if you just stay, if you just love her through it, if you just keep proving yourself, eventually she will love you back. But how can she? How can she offer something that has been buried beneath years of disappointment and unhealed wounds? How can she give when life has only taught her how to take care of herself? You keep reaching for her, but every time you do, it feels like she slips further away. You want to fix it, you want to heal it, you want to make her see that you are not like the others, that you are not here to hurt her. But love is not something you force. It is something that flows naturally from a heart that is ready. And if she is not ready, if she does not have the love within her to give, then no matter what you do, it will never be enough. You find yourself exhausted, drained, and confused. You start to feel like you are the one who is broken. But it's not about you. You can't receive what she doesn't have. You can't keep expecting something to grow in soil that has not been nourished. You can't make love take root in a heart that has been hardened by past experiences. And so you wait. You keep hoping. You keep believing that one day she will wake up and love you the way you love her. But deep down, you know the truth love cannot be given where it does not exist. And no matter how much you pour into her, if she does not have love to give, you will always find yourself empty-handed. Love is more than a fleeting emotion. It is more than butterflies, late-night conversations, and stolen moments of passion. Love is more than the excitement of attraction or the comfort of companionship. Real love, deep, meaningful, lasting love requires healing, not just feeling. Feeling is easy. Feeling comes naturally. Anyone can feel something in a moment, swept up in the emotions of affection, desire, or even infatuation. But love is not sustained by feeling alone. Love is built on a foundation of wholeness, trust, and emotional stability. Without healing, love becomes a battle instead of a blessing. It becomes something that wounds rather than something that restores. When a person has been broken, when they have been betrayed, abandoned, rejected, or wounded by the people they once trusted, love becomes complicated. You see, pain changes the way we receive love. It changes the way we interpret affection. It changes the way we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. If someone has been hurt enough times, they begin to associate love with pain, with disappointment, with loss. And when love starts to enter their life again, their first instinct is not to embrace it, it's to protect themselves from it. You can feel something for someone and still be unable to love them the way they need to be loved. You can have deep emotions, powerful desires, and a longing for connection, but if your heart is still bleeding from past wounds, love will feel more like a battlefield than a sanctuary. You will find yourself fighting against the very thing you want because love requires openness and pain teaches you to close yourself off. A wounded heart is a guarded heart. And a guarded heart struggles to receive love in its purest form. That is why so many people push away the very thing they desire. It is not because they do not want love, it is because love requires a level of trust and vulnerability that their pain will not allow. You can tell them 1,000 times that you love them, but if they have been hurt before, they will hesitate to believe you. If they have been let down in the past, they will always be waiting for the moment you leave. If they have been conditioned to expect disappointment, even your best intentions will be met with suspicion. Love requires healing, not just feeling. If love were only about emotion, it would be easy. But love requires work. Love requires self-awareness. Love requires the willingness to confront old wounds, to unlearn toxic patterns, to break cycles that have kept the heart bound in fear and insecurity. Love demands more than just saying, I love you. It demands that both people come to the table whole, or at least willing to heal. You cannot love fully when you are still bleeding from the past. You cannot build something solid when the foundation is cracked by trauma, by unresolved hurt, by bitterness. Love cannot thrive in a place where fear controls the heart. Fear will make someone sabotage something good before it even has the chance to grow. Fear will convince them that love is dangerous, that attachment leads to pain, that vulnerability is a risk not worth taking. And so they resist, they pull back, they send mixed signals. One moment they are affectionate, present, and engaged. The next they are distant, withdrawn, unreachable. It is not because they do not feel something, it is because they do. And that feeling terrifies them because feelings alone do not make love work. Feelings do not erase scars. Feelings do not undo years of emotional baggage. Healing is the bridge between love and its fulfillment. Healing is what allows someone to love freely, to give without fear, to receive without hesitation. Without healing, love becomes exhausting. It becomes a cycle of closeness and withdrawal, of passion and distance, of longing and fear. Without healing, love turns into an emotional roller coaster where one person is always chasing, always trying to prove, always trying to fix what they did not break. And that is why love requires more than feeling. It requires self-reflection. It requires inner work. It requires the courage to face pain instead of running from it. Because without healing, love will always feel like a fight instead of a refuge. What looks like rejection is often not rejection at all. It is protection. It is defense. It is the survival instinct of a heart that is learned sometimes through deep wounds that letting someone in is not always safe. A woman who has been hurt before does not love the same way as one who has never known heartbreak. She does not trust easily. She does not open her arms without hesitation. She has seen what happens when love is given too freely to the wrong person. And now, every move she makes is calculated, careful, cautious. You see her distance, her silence, her hesitation, and you think she does not want you. You take it personally. You wonder what you did wrong. You question if you are not enough, if you should try harder, if you should prove yourself more. But this is not about you. This is about her. She is guarding her heart, not rejecting you. There was a time when she gave without hesitation, when she let herself love without walls, without fear. But someone taught her that love comes with consequences. That love is not always returned. That love can be painful. That love in the wrong hands can be a weapon rather than a gift. So she learned to protect herself. She built walls where there were once open doors. She became cautious where she was once carefree. And now even when she meets someone different, someone real, someone safe, her first instinct is not to embrace it, is to evaluate, to analyze, to test, to see if this time will be different or if history is only waiting to repeat itself. She may not even realize she is doing it. She may not fully understand why she pulls away when things start to feel too good, too easy, too natural. All she knows is that her heart has been broken before, and she is not willing to go through that pain again. So she guards herself. She hesitates before answering your calls. She second guesses your intentions. She looks for signs, for patterns, for anything that might confirm the fear inside her that if she lets you in, you will leave a lead. That if she loves too deeply, she will lose herself again. And you standing on the outside don't understand. You feel like you are knocking on a door that never opens. You feel like you are trying to hold someone who won't stop running. You feel like no matter how much patience you have, no matter how much love you give, no matter how many times you show up, she keeps pulling back. But this is not rejection. This is a woman trying to survive. She has seen love turn into pain. She has trusted hands that ended up letting go. She has believed in promises that were never kept. She has given her all before, and when she did, left her with nothing but heartache. So now she protects herself. She builds a fortress around her heart, not because she wants to keep love out, but because she doesn't know if love is safe anymore. And the hardest part, she may not even know how to explain it to you. She may not have the words to tell you that her distance is not indifference, that her hesitation is not disinterest, that her silence is not because she doesn't care. She may want to let you in. She may feel something for you that scares her. She may even wish she could love you the way you want her to. But fear is powerful. Fear will convince a person that avoiding love is safer than embracing it. Fear will make them sabotage something good before it even has the chance to grow. She is not rejecting you. She is rejecting the possibility of pain. She is rejecting the memories that haunt her. She is rejecting the ghosts of her past that still whisper warnings in her ear. She wants to love. She wants to trust. She wants to believe that this time will be different. But the walls she has built are not easy to tear down, and she is not willing to let them crumble for just anyone. So she guards her heart. Not because she does not care, not because she does not see your effort, not because she does not appreciate what you bring in her life, but because the last time she opened that door, she was left standing in the wreckage. And before she steps into love again, she needs to be sure beyond any doubt that this time it will not destroy her. You can love her with everything in you. You can give her your time, your devotion, your loyalty. You can shower her with affection, remind her daily of her worth, and try to make her see herself through your eyes. But no matter how much love you give, no matter how deeply you care, you cannot fill a void that only she can fill. A woman who does not love herself will struggle to receive love, no matter how pure, no matter how consistent, no matter how real. If she does not see her own value, your compliments will feel empty. If she does not believe she is worthy, your devotion will seem suspicious. If she is used to pain, to neglect, to being treated as less than she deserves, she will not know how to handle love that demands nothing from her but her presence. She will question it. She will resist it. She will look for the hidden catch, the inevitable disappointment that she has trained herself to expect. And it won't matter how many times you reassure her. It won't matter how often you show up, how patient you are, how consistent you prove yourself to be. Because self-doubt is louder than outside affirmation. A lifetime of feeling unworthy cannot be undone by a few kind words or even by unwavering love. She must learn to love herself. She must see on her own that she is valuable not because you say so, not because you treat her well, but because it is the truth. Until she does, your love will only feel like borrowed validation, something she clings to in moments of insecurity but never fully believes in. And that is why loving a woman who does not love herself can be the most exhausting thing you will ever do. Because no matter how much you pour into her, the moment you stop even for a second, she will begin to question it all. She will doubt your feelings. She will assume you are losing interest. She will look for signs that you are about to leave. Not because she truly believes you don't care, but because deep down, she doesn't believe anyone could genuinely love her for who she is. So she looks for proof that her fears are valid. She misreads your silences. She overanalyzes your actions. She convinces herself that you deserve better, even when you've told her time and time again that she is everything you want. And the hardest part, you'll think that if you just love her harder, if you just remind her more often, if you just prove yourself over and over again, then maybe, just maybe, she will finally believe you. But self-love is not something that can be given. It is not something that can be transferred from one person to another. It is something that must be found within. She has to do the work. She has to sit with herself and confront the wounds that made her doubt her worth in the first place. She has to unlearn the lies she has believed about herself for years. She has to silence the inner voice that tells her she is not enough. Until she does that, love will always feel like something she has to earn, something temporary, something that could be taken away at any moment. And that kind of love is exhausting, not just for her, but for you. Because you will feel like you are constantly chasing after something that slips through your fingers the moment you think you finally have it. You will find yourself giving more than you receive. You will spend your time reassuring, proving, convincing. And one day you will realize that no matter how much love you offer, it will never be enough to fix what is broken inside her. Because that's not your job. That's not your battle to fight. Loving her is not enough if she does not love herself. Because when a person does not believe they are worthy, they will always find a way to push love away. Not because they don't want it, but because they don't trust it. They don't trust themselves to keep it. They don't trust you to meet it. They don't trust that love, real love, doesn't come with conditions or expiration dates. We love to romanticize the idea of the right person, wrong time. We tell ourselves that if circumstances had been different, if life had aligned just a little better, if the timing had been more favorable, then maybe things would have worked out. Maybe love would have lasted. Maybe that person we lost would still be here. But here's the truth. The right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person. Because love isn't just about connection. It isn't just about chemistry. It isn't just about how much two people care for each other. Love is also about readiness. It's about two people being in a place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, where they can fully receive and reciprocate the love they are trying to build. You can meet someone who moves your soul, who makes your heart race, who feels like they were made just for you, and yet, if the timing is off, if one or both of you are not in a place to truly embrace what love requires, it will fall apart anyway. And not because the connection wasn't real, not because the feelings weren't strong enough, but because love is more than just a feeling. It's about alignment. It's about two lives fitting together in a way that allows love to thrive, not just survive. The right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person because love requires presence. It requires availability. It requires two people who are emotionally open, mentally mature, and spiritually aligned enough to pour into each other without reservation. If one person is still healing from past wounds, if one person is too distracted chasing personal goals, if one person is not emotionally ready to commit, then it doesn't matter how much love is there, the relationship will be a constant uphill battle. Love should not have to compete with unhealed trauma. It should not have to fight against immaturity. It should not have to beg for space in someone's life. If love has to be placed on hold, if it has to be postponed for a better time, then it is not the love that is meant to last. Because real love is not something you have to press pause on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a truth we often avoid, a truth that, when ignored, destroys marriages, families, and destinies. The truth is that married women, despite their strength, are often the easiest prey for emotional and physical temptation. From the moment a woman says, "I do," she steps into a world of expectations, some spoken, some unspoken, and some so deeply ingrained in culture and tradition that she doesn't even realize how much weight she is carrying. Society has painted a picture of what a good wife should be, what a loving mother should do, and how a woman should balance it all with grace, as if she is made of something more than flesh and blood. She is expected to nurture, support, provide, manage, and sustain everything around her while often neglecting her own needs in the process. She is a wife, which means she must be attentive, affectionate, understanding, patient, and forgiving. She is expected to be her husband's peace, his cheerleader, his place of comfort, his motivation. She is expected to pray for him, stand by him, encourage him when he's weak, and be his strength when he is struggling. But who carries her when she is weak? Who speaks life into her when she feels drained? She is a mother, which means she must be selfless, available, nurturing, and sacrificial. She wakes up before everyone else and goes to bed after everyone else. She carries the weight of her children's emotional, mental, and physical well-being on her shoulders. She sacrifices sleep, personal time, and sometimes even her dreams to make sure they have what they need. She is the one they run to when they are hurt, the one who remembers every appointment, the one who keeps the family together. But who does she run to when she is exhausted? Who sees her when she is pouring from an empty cup? She is a career woman, which means she must be confident, focused, and driven. She must give her best at work and still come home to give her best to her family. She juggles deadlines, meetings, projects, and responsibilities, all while ensuring that the house is in order. She wears different hats at different times of the day, switching from professional to mother, from mother to wife, from wife to caretaker, and from caretaker to friend. And in between all these roles, she is often left with little to no time to be herself. She is a homemaker, which means she must manage, organize, plan, and prepare. She remembers the birthdays, the anniversaries, the school projects, the doctor's appointments, and the grocery lists. She keeps the house running like a well-oiled machine, even when she feels like she is running on fumes. She handles the small things that no one else notices, the missing socks, the last-minute dinner, the emotional needs of everyone in the house. But who takes care of her emotional needs? Who asks her if she is okay? She is expected to balance all of these roles without breaking, without complaining, without showing any signs of struggle. And if she does express her exhaustion, she is often met with responses like, "That's just what mothers do," or "Every wife feels that way." The pressure to maintain the image of having it all together, of being the strong one, of holding everything in place, it becomes a silent burden that weighs heavier with time. There is an expectation for her to always be available, always be giving, always be serving. She is taught that her strength is in her ability to endure, to push through, to keep going no matter how tired she is. She is told that this is what love looks like: sacrifice, service, and self-denial. But the truth is, no one can keep giving indefinitely without eventually feeling depleted. And the more she gives without receiving, the more she begins to feel invisible. The more she pours without being poured into, the more she begins to feel empty. And when a woman feels unseen, unheard, and unappreciated, she becomes vulnerable. Vulnerable to words of affirmation from the wrong source. Vulnerable to attention that feels like validation. Vulnerable to anything that makes her feel alive again. One of the greatest misconceptions about marriage is that automatically eliminates loneliness. People assume that when you find the one, when you exchange vows, when you build a life together, loneliness will no longer be a concern. But for many women, marriage does not erase loneliness, it magnifies it. She entered the marriage full of hopes, believing that she had found a lifelong partner, someone who would walk beside her, share her burdens, listen to her dreams, and hold her close when life got overwhelming. She believed that marriage meant companionship, that she would always have someone to talk to, someone to laugh with, someone to lean on. But what happens when that companionship fades? What happens when silence takes the place of meaningful conversation? What happens when she feels alone, even in the presence of the one she loves? Loneliness in marriage is not about physical distance, it is about emotional disconnection. A woman can share the same bed with her husband and still feel miles apart. She can sit at the same dinner table, exchange routine words, discuss the logistics of life, who's picking up the kids, what bills need to be paid, what time dinner will be ready, but none of it touches the deeper parts of her soul. She is not just looking for conversation, she is looking for connection. She is looking to be understood, to be valued, to be noticed not just as a wife, not just as a mother, but as a woman, as a person, as an individual with thoughts, feelings, and dreams. At first, she tries to ignore it. She tells herself that it's just a phase, that things will get better. She makes excuses. He's busy, he's stressed, he has a lot on his plate. She convinces herself that this is normal, that this is just how marriage works after a certain number of years. But deep down, there is a longing that refuses to be silenced, a longing to be seen, a longing to be heard, a longing to feel like she matters beyond the role she plays. She watches as her husband comes home and immediately reaches for his phone, for the remote, for his work emails, anything but her. She waits for him to ask how her day was, to engage in real conversation, but all she gets are brief, surface-level responses. The moments that used to be filled with laughter and deep talks are now replaced with routine, obligation, and empty space. She starts to feel like she is just an accessory in his life, not a priority. She starts to feel like she is invisible. And then there are the nights, the long, quiet nights where she lies awake next to a man who is physically present but emotionally absent. She turns over in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if he notices the distance between them, wondering if he even feels what she feels. She thinks about the days when he used to look at her with excitement, when he used to reach for her hand, just because when he used to find reasons to talk to her for hours. She wonders when it changed. She wonders if he even cares that it changed. She starts to question herself. Am I not interesting anymore? Am I not beautiful enough? Am I not enough? She replays conversations, analyzing every word, trying to pinpoint where things started to shift. She starts to doubt herself, to feel like maybe the problem is her, that maybe she is asking for too much, that maybe she should just be grateful for what she has. And then she stops trying. She may need guidance. She may need counsel. She may need to rebuild trust in her marriage, to have the hard conversations, to face the wounds she has carried for too long. But true strength is found in seeking help when it is needed. True strength is found in fighting for something greater than temporary satisfaction. The call to restoration is not just about undoing damage, it is about becoming the woman she was always meant to be, a woman of integrity, a woman of wisdom, a woman who chooses strength over weakness, faithfulness over compromise, and restoration over regret. And though the journey will be long, though the process will be painful, though there will be moments when she wonders if it is worth it, she will find that choosing strength, choosing healing, choosing restoration will always be worth it. At the heart of every struggle, every compromise, and every moment of weakness lies a deeper truth, one that many fail to recognize until they are standing at the edge of regret. The truth is that no woman sets out to fall, no marriage is doomed from the start, and no heart is beyond the reach of restoration. It is never a single moment that unravels everything. It is the slow drift, the small cracks, the unnoticed distance that begins to form between what once was and what now is. But here is the hope. No matter how far she has wandered, no matter how many mistakes have been made, no matter how deep the wounds, restoration is always possible. Strength is always within reach. The road back may not be easy, but it is there waiting for the one who dares to walk it. A woman must decide what kind of story she will write. Will she be defined by compromise or by conviction? Will she allow herself to be swayed by the fleeting moments of attention that feed her insecurities, or will she stand firm in the truth of her worth? Will she settle for the easy path of emotional distraction, or will she fight for the love and commitment she once vowed to protect? The weight of expectations may press down on her. The loneliness of marriage may tempt her. The desire to be pursued may whisper that she deserves more. The power of emotional manipulation may try to deceive her. And the danger of small compromises may pull her further than she ever intended to go. But none of these things have to define her. She is stronger than she thinks. She is worth more than momentary validation. She is capable of rebuilding, of healing, of rediscovering the love and purpose she once believed in. She is not beyond redemption. The call to restoration and strength is not just an invitation, it is a challenge to rise above temptation, a challenge to refuse to be another statistic, a challenge to break free from the lies that say it's too late, it's too broken, it's too far gone. Because it is never too late to choose what is right. It is never too late to turn back, to fight for love, to reclaim integrity, and to walk boldly in the direction of healing. The decision is hers to make. And what she chooses will shape not only her future, but the legacy she leaves behind.